Hey guys.
What's up?
Hey.
Happy
Nick,
Friday.
We're just going to wait a couple seconds and let any last minute people jump on before we get started.
how's everybody doing?
Having a beautiful COVID family house right now.
That's no good.
Yep.
No bueno.
Found out yesterday.
Everyone's okay though?
Yeah. They're all good. Nothing serious.
Good.
That's hard. Izzy, what's on your shirt?
It's a Boba Fett shirt. So just show everybody.
I was like, is it a Boba t-shirt?
Yeah. That's awesome.
I love both of those things.
I love it.
Boba and Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been watching the new one?
I did start today. I was supposed to start with Rachel, but Caleb wanted to watch it with me, so.
Wow. Couch when you get home.
Yep.
Very cool.
Why are you in LA right now, Izzy?
I went to Pine Summit to play at a thing with Shalini and friends.
Nice.
Yes.
Cool.
I just saw Shalini this past weekend.
Yeah, she's like on a world tour right now, just well, national at least.
National world.
National world tour.
It's like
Nice.
being World Series champions. You're really
Just in the U.S.
And Canada.
And Canada. Canada counts.
Yeah.
But the players are from all over, or at least
Yeah, they are.
Caribbean,
That's right.
It's true.
Central America.
All right, well, I think we'll get started. We want to welcome you to our live stream of talking through Be Thou My Vision, which released, a couple weeks ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to share a little bit about ourselves and the process. And first, before we get started, we're going to introduce ourselves. So I'm Nick Helms. I am a Salvation Army officer. I am currently located in Denver, Colorado, serving with my wife as the Divisional Youth and Candidate Secretaries. And we are loving this appointment so far, loving Denver. Who's next?
Me, I'm Erin. My husband is on the screen there, Chris, and he and I are in San Francisco with the Salvation Army as well, downtown at the South of Market Corps, and we've just been here since the summer. We have 4 kids, and life is wild.
I'm Chris, and that kind of covers me.
Cheater.
And that kind of covers your personality too.
And yes, we're in different rooms right now.
Love it.
I'm Izzy, and I am out of Austin, Texas, and I guess we're doing kids. I have 1 kid, and yeah, life is good.
Are you keeping it weird?
Not yet. I'll get there. I'll catch up. I just got to Austin.
Yeah.
Izzy, what do you do?
I do music. I'm an audio engineer, and I play guitar, and I love Jesus.
Amen.
And Boba.
And Boba. And Boba Fett.
That's definitely Boba Fett.
That leaves me. My name is Phil, and I am in Nashville. My wife Sarah and I have 3 kids. I lost track for a second there in my mind, but I got it right back. And we have a dog named Tammy, and I do music as well.
And Phil, you have not been in the South for very long, correct?
You know, I grew up in the South, but I haven't. It's been a long time since I've been back here.
You've been back, yeah. Well, we're super stoked to have you with us tonight. Phil isn't technically part of this group, of this collaboration, but he is a friend, and he is someone who's kind of helped us in our musical journey. So we're really glad that you are here to host and get us through this conversation. And yeah, thanks for making the time.
Yeah, looking forward to it. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So I think first are we gonna listen to the song first? Is that what we're gonna do?
We are.
So without making people wait, we're just gonna get into that and let you listen. I don't know if you've heard it yet. If you have, we'd love to know. You can leave a comment, let us know if you have. If you haven't, now you get to, but it's streaming everywhere, all digital platforms online. So you don't have to listen to it just this once. You can check it out later. iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you listen to music, you can find it. So, but here we have it coming up now. Very excited.
Riches I heed not, nor men's empty praise. Thou mine inheritance now and always. Thou and thou only be first in my heart. High King of heaven, my treasure thou art. Jesus, my greatest reward and delight. Pardon and freedom have flowed from the wound in your side. As we cry out for saving, in you will we find we are free. As darkness gives way to your marvelous light, eyes are now open, you've touched and you've restored our sight. Give us wisdom to know what is best and is right. Help us see. Help us see. Help us see. High King of heaven, when victory is won, may I reach heaven's joys, oh bright heaven's sun. Heart of my own heart, whatever befall, still be my vision.
Yay.
So good.
Hmm.
That was awesome, guys. Nobody that was watching could see me, but I was having a great little time of worship over here, just again to that song. But such a great song, and first things first. "Be Thou My Vision." Everybody knows this song, right? It's kind of it's in the public conscience. So, um, when you guys first asked me about this, it brought to my mind, and I promise this night is not about me, but I wanted to share this little anecdote real quick. One of the first times I showed, I guess you could say, an elder statesman, a composer. If I said his name, you'd know who I was talking about. A song that I had done. It was a remake of a hymn, and a very kind gentleman. After a few seconds, I played the arrangement for him, and he just waited, and he said, maybe it's best you just leave this one alone. You should just leave this one alone.
That's real encouraging, right?
It's like that joke. Who sings that song? Let's keep it that way.
Oh, yes. But needless to say, you guys have not done that with this song, and I love it. Whenever you're introducing like a new chorus for a hymn or something, it's always a little bit tricky. You never know how people are going to respond. So, but talk a little bit about the original song for us, Nick and Aaron, and like what it means to you. We all are familiar with "Be Thou My Vision," but what does it mean to you? And what was the process of you guys coming up with a new chorus for this song?
Yeah, I love this song. It was kind of like my song for the past few years. I've just been enjoying doing this in worship in different contexts. And I think that I had posted up the lyrics one day, kind of having like a deep moment on Instagram. And actually it was Izzy who reached out and he said, "Hey, we should cover this. Like we should do it." And so sat on it for a really long time. And we decided we wanted to do it. Nick and I had been doing some music, but had gotten busy and didn't have time. So we hadn't really done anything in a little while. So I said, "Hey, what do you think? Why don't we try to do this together?" So that's kind of how like the idea came to be. But believe it or not, there was a version we were going to cover that had its own chorus, and we thought we could either go through all the permissions, all the craziness to like get that going and to do that version. But then I thought, no, let's like just do our own thing. Like let's write our own chorus, and that's kind of how that little seed got planted, and we kind of went for it.
Yeah, cool.
Let me tack on there. I think that the words of this song have been super meaningful to us as we've ventured through the pandemic, and both of our families have made moves and had new things introduced to us. And so just leaning on God's promises, trusting Him as our vision, not worrying about material things or the trappings that have us where we maybe used to live or anything like that, but just trusting that He's going to guide us both in our moves, but also through this pandemic and as we lead in the different areas that we lead. I think that this song has really touched us all.
Yeah,
cool.
Just a lot of like richness there, in the words, if you look through the lyrics. And it really is it's like a beacon of hope, and it's that reminder, like you're not alone. Like we are absolutely covered by the grace of God as we go through like the hardness of life. And that's what it really has been the past few years, I think. And it's a reminder that like He is the one that informs our vision. He is the one that gives us the strength, the ability to see clearly what He has for us. And so we all need that, right? Like it was true however many hundreds of years ago it was written, it's true today, and it'll remain that way. So yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, cool. And you guys, I love the lyrics that you added to it, because it's not, when I was listening to it, it didn't just sound like, let's throw a chorus in. The lyrics really fit well with the old lyrics. Sometimes when we sing something for so long, like "Be Thou My Vision," the words can kind of be like stuck, and I think a new chorus sometimes can help to sort of break it loose and explain it more. And I was reading help me to see, and just there's like you guys really did, in my opinion, really did well of capturing the old thought in a new way. So Izzy, you're responsible for for saying, hey, let's do something with this. What was the process for you guys all creatively to bring, to write the new chorus, and who did the lyrics, who did the music, and how did that fit? How did that process work for you three?
Yeah, it was just kind of we just kind of brought it up, and then Aaron, brought Nick into it, and so we were just kind of talking over it, and it kind of just snowballed, and all of a sudden there was a chorus. We were talking about doing this version by this other band, and all of a sudden Aaron had a whole chorus, and it didn't take long to get that going, did it?
Enneagram 3, just do it, just get it done.
Yeah,
Got
right.
it. Yeah,
that's
Achiever.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Chris and Aaron also did the whole roadmap, all the chords. That was all them, I believe. So yeah, they really took on most of the bones of that.
very cool. Chris, I didn't mean to leave you out on the composition part of this at all.
No. That wasn't that. I didn't have a ton to do with that. But to what you said earlier, I really, my role was a lot of the well, how do we do this? But I think it's the really vital part is the why do we do this? And that's really the important question to ask. And so for us, it was really, because it's a cover, right? It's an existing work, like you mentioned, and so you have to really ask. It's important for any artist, well, what is this? How does this further the conversation? What is this saying? What do I need to say with this? Because they're someone else's words largely. And so I just think it was really critical to nail that first and really get a sense of well, why would we say this? Before you ask how can I keep someone's attention for 4.5 minutes or however long, you have to ask, well, why would I want to? What do I want to say? And it just felt super timely to say this now. It's really a prayer. The whole song is a prayer, and the chorus really, what it does for me, like you mentioned, it doesn't feel like it's tacked in there. To me, those beautiful deep words are whizzing by really fast, and I can't process them in time. I hear those words, how rich they are, and I say, I want to experience this. I want to sit in this for a minute, and so I need to pause, and the chorus is actually a way to do that. So it's almost like let's return this to God, this prayer. Just help me to see, just really kind of simplify that so as to kind of experience it, let it breathe for a second. So I think that was, I just love that we're beginning to talk about that. It's really about, well, why say this? I think it's very timely right now. We need this truth. We need to be praying this prayer. God, would you be the center of my thoughts?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, love it. Nick or Aaron, you guys want to hop on that at all as far as the why behind it?
Yeah, I mean, I always am a fan of any time we can slow ourselves, even in worship, to redirect our thoughts straight to Jesus. And I think that's what this chorus is. It's it's that declaration that Jesus, you are my greatest reward, right? There's nothing better than you. And I think that incorporating the truth of the gospel in our worship is really important, right? We don't want to be so abstract and say we're worshiping God, and yes, we are worshiping God, but to remember that Jesus is part of who God is, and he's a person in our Godhead that we worship. So to redirect our thoughts towards him, right? To say, I'm looking at you, my freedom comes from you, my rescue is from you. That's so critical. And I think that we need to keep worshiping to songs that say that, and we need to keep writing new songs that say that truth and declares the truth of the gospel. So that's for me, what I think the chorus contributed to the song was just okay, let me redirect focus on Jesus. I don't know if Nick, you have any thoughts on that too, but it's, yeah, like everyone else said, it's not shoe end. It's really kind of part of the song on the whole.
Yeah, I think that if you look at the verses, we start with "Be Thou my vision," and then we move on to, what's the second verse? "Be Thou my wisdom," and then "Riches I heed not," and then "High King of Heaven." They're all kind of stately verses. And then I think the chorus really is a redirection to God. So we're pointing it back up to him. This is our worship for you. We want to offer this up to you. Yeah, be thou my vision. We want you to do that. We want you to be our vision. We want you to take the place of material things in our lives. but more than just asking you for things, we want to bring ourselves to you and offer our worship to you. And that's kind of what the chorus was for me. I think for all of us, but that's how I think of it.
Yeah. And I think, Phil, my favorite line in the chorus is pardon and freedom have flowed from the wound in your side. Like, to me, that's such a visual reminder of the sacrifice of Jesus for us, to experience the fullness of his freedom, like now in this life, not later, like when we're in heaven. And that to me has just been a really profound thing I've had to come to just keep reminding myself over these past couple of years. Like, man, he gave everything for me to know him in fullness and freedom. And I don't want to ever like cheapen that or lessen that because it wasn't cheap.
Amen. That's awesome. Well, the song really does have all of those elements together, but as you guys know, unless the music is going to support the fantastic lyrics, it's kind of, it's just a sermon. Bono says, if it doesn't make me feel something, it's just a sermon, which sermons can make you feel something too. No shade on anybody who's preaching this Sunday. But there are so many, we could get lost in the weeds here, but there's so many things that compositionally about this that I love, just as I listen to this over and over again. And I just want to point a couple of them out and then you guys can elaborate a little bit. First of all, like musically, one of the things I'm always talking about when I talk to other people about songwriting is instrumental counter melodies. And I think like the piano, and I'm not saying this just because I'm a pianist, but it's so simple, but yet so effective. The dun da 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 da, and not only is it simple and effective, but it's like an inverse of the melody. So da 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 da, and the melody of the piano is da 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 da. So it's like this contrast there. And the rhythm of the melody is also a nice contrast in the chorus to the verses, because we're all familiar with "Be Thou My Vision." There's no syncopation in that at all, right? You get to the chorus and it's da 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 da. You're syncopating pretty much everything in there. So there's a real nice contrast between the sections of the song, but that also tie together really, really well. So, is there any intention? I think I know the answer to this, but was there intentionality from you guys in doing any of that, or just sort of come naturally for you? Because it does to some people. Some people don't even think about that kind of stuff.
I'm the person who's not thinking about it, so I'll let the guys answer this one. Yeah.
Now, Aaron intuits that, but like doesn't.
I could never articulate it.
Yeah, it's not a technical thing. Like, she does what she does, and kind of intuits all that. But yeah, I think, it might have been some of that. I don't know, Izzy, you want to, like, I think some of that stuff is you too.
With that intro lick, it just I didn't think about it. That's a very astute observation there, Phil. But I didn't mean to do counter melody there.
Hey, this is why I'm here, right, man? I'm here to make observations
That's
about
right,
what you're doing.
Yeah, it just kind of came out. I just I knew that I wanted something there that was going to be melodic, keep the listener's attention. And I just picked up the guitar and plucked around a little bit, and it just hopped right out. And just came to me. It wasn't anything I had to sit on for a long time. It's
really nice because this is a Celtic feeling song. The Celtic Irish, the background of this, both the words and the melody are from an Irish background.
Right, yeah.
So like the octave acoustic guitar with the piano and like the pads and the ooze, it gives it like this real spacey kind of ethereal feel to it, which I think really matches with the Irish vibe of it. But anyway, but we could dive in forever talking about the compositional elements. But Izzy, or whoever, I don't know whose idea this was. Maybe this was Chris's idea. I don't know whose idea this was, but it's so cool at the beginning where you have the winding up of it's beautiful. It's simple. It's beautiful. It's in time, and you top and tail the song with it too. So whose idea would that, and what does it mean? Does it mean something, or is it just a cool little element in there?
Well, we were getting ready. I did basically we decided we were going to do this. Chris came up with that really cool guitar part, and he and Aaron recorded a little demo of it and sent it over. And then I sort of fleshed it out with some other production elements. And I sent it, and they were like, "Yeah, we like it. Here's some notes." And then, like at the tail end of the conversation, Aaron said, "We need a clock." Okay, let's do it. Let's get a clock. So I found some clock sounds and I put them in, and there is some. We have had a lot of discussion about the clock, so maybe someone else wants to talk about the clock.
Aaron, you talk about the clock.
Yeah, I love the clock.
I love the
I
clock.
do. I don't know. I think it was we sat with the demo for so long, and then you sit with the whole process for so long, but I just with it kind of you set it into motion, and the song just kind of goes, but you feel like there's this ticking throughout it. And so I said, like this song is really all about also recognizing that God transcends time. And this idea that he did not set us into motion and then walk away from us, yet he will always be. And so I just kind of went with it. We went back and forth on it a little bit. We didn't always agree, which happens, right, when you're working with each other. But in the end, I love it. And I think it's just a really nice addition and kind of like, a timely, no pun intended, reminder too, because we released this into the new year. So we wanted folks to really resonate with that idea of like, a fresh start. Like God is who he is regardless of the time, right? And he's with us now and he will be.
I love it. I think like it ties together the fact that this is an ageless hymn, and we serve an ageless God, and yet he is working now, like you said, and with the new chorus and the timeless words and the clock in there, I think it ties it together really nicely. Well done. Last thing I just want to talk about instrumentation wise. Talk to me about the percussion stuff, because it's not, you guys could have gone with just a full set in there, but you really chose your elements that you wanted in there. There's not a lot of percussion in there, but it's very effective when you use it. It serves to deepen the song when you have those deep goom goom at the beginning of the chorus and the shakers and stuff. So there may not be anything deep in that at all, but what was the process behind that?
Yeah, there was no percussion in the first sort of, production draft that we put out, first rough mix, and there, it was just missing something driving in the chorus. And so actually Chris and I split that up, and Chris, I did the big toms in that second chorus, and Chris did all the rest of the percussion. And it just sort of, came together again. It was just, we knew it wasn't like a drum set feel vibe. So we rolled that out pretty quickly. And I was just, I was just looking around my plugins, of which I have a few, and the toms stuck out. So
love it.
Yeah.
Well, we could keep talking about these elements, and we could talk about the song in more detail if you guys want to. But Nick and Aaron, this is such a beautiful offering, and everybody that's involved, it's such a beautiful offering. But it didn't just come out of nowhere. You guys have been doing this for a while. And so tell us a little bit about Nick and Aaron. What is that thing? What is the Worship Collaborative? What's your heart and what's your vision and just a little backstory maybe?
Nick, you want to take that?
Sure. Well, we were in our families. We're all at training school together, and that's kind of where we met. We knew each other from before that a little bit, but not much. So when we were in training school, our families became very good friends, and we also had a couple opportunities while we were there to work together musically. And man, this was February, right before the pandemic started. Aaron got an invite to lead worship at Brangle West, which was a holiness retreat for soldiers throughout our territory in the West. And she needed some support in that. And so she asked if she could invite me to come with her to do that. And so we did, and we really enjoyed that time of leading together and felt that we worked together really well musically. And so after that was over, obviously March hit, and we were stuck in our houses, and we were at the time we were both corps officers, and music was one of our passions and something that we were not able to do like we normally would in a regular setting. And so we decided to try to start doing some collabs together from our own houses. It started out just me and her. I think Chris might have helped too in the beginning with the recording part, but I was kind of putting everything together in GarageBand, and it didn't sound great. So we did a couple more, and we got Chris on board because he has a little bit better of an ear than I do, and he started doing some of the mixing of the songs, and we were putting them to videos and putting them out on YouTube, and it has sort of kept developing from there. You want to take over, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the perfect answer to being home a lot during a pandemic and kind of recognizing we were missing connection with people that we loved, and we were missing opportunities to be leading worship in the ways that we did. So, we were doing a lot of music that initial year in the pandemic. Like Nick said, and also he's an Enneagram 3, so there's that. But we kind of went from let's just do this bare bones and pretty basically and kind of like rough, like raw, realizing we wanted to kind of enhance that. So as we've gone along, we've really tried to figure out how can we do this well, but in a way that's sustainable. So that's kind of how we've landed at this point. Like Nick mentioned, we're full-time parents. We have a ton of kids between the two of our families alone. We're in ministry, so we have a lot on our plate, but we didn't want to neglect kind of the passion of doing music. I didn't want to neglect the passion of writing music. That's something that's been really meaningful and important to me. So we've kind of found an even more sustainable way of doing this by now, like bringing Chris into this completely, and then adding Izzy to the mix, where he's doing this professionally. And so it seems like God's still kind of like blessing the means to be creative and to be putting music out into the world so that people can receive from that themselves in a way that's not going to pull us too much from the other things that we're involved in and need our attention. So really grateful for that, and kind of come to a place of finding a good rhythm. So we're meant to lead worship in a couple of weeks. It's something that is now virtual again, so we're kind of going through the process of figuring that out, but we know this is not forever, and we're really kind of looking forward to being back with people, because I think that's, in the end, that's what this is for. Like, this is to help people have deep encounters with the Lord. It's to help them engage in worship in ways that are powerful, and to let like Jesus meet them where they're at. So that's what we want to do.
That's awesome. And can I just say that I love the humble way that you both lead. I haven't experienced Nick as much as I've been in your company, Aaron, but just the humble way that this song is presented and everything you guys do, just pointing to Jesus. I love it. And just keep up that good work. I hope you guys keep just churning stuff out. Is there any plan for more recordings in the future from Aaron and Nick and Chris and Izzy and whoever else is going to be part of this collaborative?
Yes. There are plans. Does someone else talk about that plan?
I mean, it's still in the works. We don't have anything solid as of this moment, but we know that we want to continue to work together, and we've definitely said we want to do some stuff coming up pretty soon here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're working through it, so.
Yeah.
Christmas just ended, so it was a busy time.
Yeah. I hear you.
To me, like this kind of the backstory Nick and Aaron gave, it was in some ways like the pandemic kind of created the environment where this was both felt necessary and possible, because there was some time at home, like some lockdown early on and stuff like that, where some people get a pandemic dog. We got pandemic recording equipment, and
that's right,
and started, and so some of those, they represent like Nick said, pretty humble origin, the first time doing it with the garage band and stuff, and then just trying to kind of like, I feels like every single one that came after that with I'd learned another thing and implementing another.
Yeah.
They start to get hopefully a little better than some of the early ones. But it's amazing that like we have technology now where you can collaborate over distance and you know when you're not physically in the same room anymore. It's not quite the same, like in all things. It's not quite the same as being there in person, but musically you can collaborate. And so, Be That My Vision, being the first project where we really had Izzy involved, and that was just this kind of like shot of adrenaline to like make it work. Like he brought a lot of expertise to it as a producer for this, and then the mixing, you know, is really top notch because Izzy handled all that mixing and mastering and just to include more people in the conversation. It's like coming up with things to do and what's appropriate, what serves this song and the message and doing that in collaboration is really really great. So it's cool to be able to do that in this time, you know.
Yeah, I think, I mean, we could probably talk a long time about COVID and everything creative that got thwarted and creative that has come out of it. You know, for all of us. Yeah, it's amazing to step back and think that for all the frustration and the you know things that haven't happened over these past few years. God has, and you know what the enemy meant for evil, God has used for good and brought so much out of it. Hold on a second. Did I just see a comment
He's
from
not calling.
my core officer?
Yeah.
Officer and our best friend.
I'm in. I am
Oh, that's so funny.
We'll visit.
in.
So with all this music bubbling out, maybe Waggles and Helms should consider a Tennessee move.
I love it. I love it. I'm in. But you know,
Tennessee.
we'll leave that aside for a second. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
Chris, you mentioned Izzy's work, and Izzy, you've got something called
Lunar Lab Audio.
Lunar Lab Audio. Talk to us a bit about what that is.
Yeah, I was working for the Army for a little while, and when COVID hit, it was just sort of the perfect storm, and my wife and I planned to move to Texas, and I started to do some work, you know, professionally doing audio stuff. It had been a passion of mine for a while, but this was sort of an opportunity, a very forceful opportunity to really get to it and get to work. And so it's been great. Fortunately and unfortunately, I've been blessed with enough work that the website and social media has all been on the back burner. So I don't have any of that stuff set up, but yeah, it's been a sort of, you know, it's unfortunate to call COVID a blessing when so many have stuck through it, but it has, you know, worked out for me in that sense.
Yeah, Izzy, I mean, I think everybody here would agree with me that you are the consummate professional when it comes to like all this stuff. I've worked with you in live settings and now in studio settings and stuff and on stuff, and you always bring your A game. You're always 100%. It's always organized. It's always on time. There's always like multiple takes and everything. So, yeah, huge props to all the work you put in, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. And, you know, it's better to have all the work and no social media. I've gone the other way. I've got a lot of social media right now. I haven't really done a lot of work when it comes to the liminal room. But, you know, I've got my space here. I keep on thinking, what else can I add to this little space? I don't want to work. I just want to keep adding stuff to my space. So, but anyway, yeah, anything else, guys, that you want to talk about before we sort of wrap up this conversation?
I just think it'd be cool to talk a little bit more about like in-home production because it is such a like mind-blowing process and operation. You know, like Nick has already mentioned, like there's no way any of this could have been possible because we just all live in different places, right? And we had a move in the middle of all this too. So can both of you just talk a little bit more about like why has the industry kind of moved this way in some respect, and like what are you seeing in like differences in quality of if you're in an in-home studio versus a larger space, and kind of what's the process been like for both of you?
You want to go first, Phil?
Yeah, sure. For me, you know, I am definitely a songwriter first, and production just has come out of the necessity of getting good things down for me. You know, I'd much rather hand it off to somebody to do it. But yeah, I think, you know, things are getting like equipment is getting more and more affordable. It's just not feasible for people to go spend a lot of money to have their own engineer in a studio. Um, and really, what you can do, even within the context of my space right here, is not entirely um, set up sound wise. You know, I've got some acoustic paneling, and I've got a couple of pretty good microphones. And I've got, ooh, hang on.
Ooh.
Ooh, an off camera
Ooh.
surprise.
I'm coming.
Wait for it.
Nice.
Ooh.
So this, what is this thing called? Okay, I forget what this thing is called, but Jeff Kane recommended it to me. And pretty much, if you don't have, like, I don't have an ISO booth where I can go record my vocals. So microphone goes up through here, sits in here,
Nice.
Oh,
and it
wow.
isolates the sound. So I can have birds chirping, which I do have birds chirping, fire trucks going by. Well, fire trucks not so much, but it's a really cool things like this. You know, a good mic on this, and I'm pretty much can record, get as much isolation as I need. You
Sure.
know,
Does that
Wow.
blue part act as like a pop filter, or
it does. So it's a little
Yeah.
pop filter, and you just, you know, get your microphone, you set it up. It's got a little, what do you call it? A mount. It's got a shock mount for the microphone. And
nice?
what is this thing called? Oh,
I believe it's called Chaotica.
there you go. It's Chaotica. It's a Chaotica eyeball.
Nice. I'm gonna have to get me one of those
We're all-
because
we're all
my
like,
children are so loud.
Yeah.
It's a really cool thing. It's really
Let
cool
me just
thing.
say that, like, it is really fun to do this at home. It's not as easy as going to a studio to do it. Like, usually when I do it, let me tell you about what I have to do to record in my house. I have to go outside and turn the breaker off to our furnace because I, for some reason, can't get it to turn off when I want it to. I have to do it at like 11 o'clock at night when all my children are sleeping and my wife is sleeping, and find a little secluded section in my house that doesn't echo a lot, really quiet. But the ability to even do it in my house is incredible. And to get, you know, like pretty good sound quality for, you know, Izzy turned it into something awesome.
Yeah.
But you know, we bought our equipment kind of for this, but also kind of for our core, because we were using some of that equipment for our live streaming on Sundays. And so it just happened kind of as a culmination of everything, and it's worked out really, really cool.
And you can record as many times as you need to get it right. You're not waiting for somebody else to hit record. You don't feel bad for recording it 17 times in a row.
That's right.
You're going to get it until you're happy with it, not until they're happy with it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not paying myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely like a whole different ball game. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just imagining Nick belting those high notes for his verse at midnight, you know.
I think I did that one. I think I did just that cut in at like midday.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody was home for that one.
And I will say that we have the same problem, right? Like, we've got the kids, so we have to do most of our stuff late at night, especially vocals. And I am not a late night person, so I'm usually pretty grumpy by like 10 o'clock or something. So, and then doing this with, you know, your husband who's doing all the engineering work, things get a little hairy. And so there's got to be like some delicate, like, all right, we gotta do that again. We're gonna have to do that, you know. And I'm just like, so, but you know what, to be able to do it at home, like, it's such a game changer. It really makes it accessible. And yeah, we're glad we can do it.
Aaron will know when I'm using my little kind voice. Maybe you want to do that one again.
Just say what you mean.
Use my mind. So
Izzy, is most of what you're doing collaboration remotely with people, or do you work directly with people ever? What's kind of your process?
Yeah, virtually everything I'm doing these days is all remote. Most of what I'm doing is just mixing, so pretty much the song is done at that point, and we may talk about it and figure out if it needs a couple last elements. But for the most part, yeah, I just get a bunch of tracks and I just do what I need to do. Every now and again, someone does hire me to play guitar, which is always nice. Uh, and yeah, that again is all remote. They just send me the song with no guitar parts or some demo guitar parts, and I just sit in my music room and plunk them out and get it done. It's pretty much all remote. I've done one live recording thing in the last 2 years.
Wow.
How about you, Phil? A lot of the projects you're on, is that over distance or kind of live and in the room?
Yeah, mostly distance. I'm trying to think of the last time I actually went somewhere to be a part of a project, and it's been quite a while. But yeah, I'm mostly working on some commission stuff now, writing, and also working on a project for a friend of mine in Australia, and just all remote. I'm working. Izzy, I'd be curious to see to know what your setup is, but basically, I just have a Mac Mini, got an external monitor, but I've got some Yamaha studio monitors that were given to me that work pretty well, and I've got my Focusrite like 6 input device and my keyboard here. That's pretty much all I need for what I do, and most anything I need, is just right into Logic, and I use most of the plugins that are already built into Logic for most of my workflow. What about you, Izzy?
Yeah, it's also pretty stripped down at the moment. Some people may know that I've been waiting on a house for a little bit. My wife and I were fortunate enough to purchase a house, and we've just been waiting to get some new build. So I've sort of been waiting to really get cracking on that. But yeah, my setup at the moment is pretty minimal. I've got a laptop, keyboard, mouse, a monitor, and then I just take my guitar inputs from my pedal board straight into the interface. And then if I need to record acoustic, I do have a mic that I can use for that. But it's most of the time really only one input that I'm using. And then I do all of my mixing in the box, which for those of you that don't know, just means fully in the computer. And yeah, that's it.
It'd be nice if we all were able to just come out and see you and record something live at your place, Izzy.
That would be
nice.
nice.
I think we should try for that sometime.
I think we should work that out.
Yeah, we've already been talking about that actually, Phil. So
Yeah.
just pop down.
I'd love to. I'm in the same time. I'm in the same time zone as Izzy is. So
That's right. Yeah.
Practically there.
Yeah. We got to do that. Let's make it happen.
Cool.
Cool.
Well, guys, it's a beautiful. I'll hand it over to you guys, but the song is amazing. Seriously, I encourage everybody to check it out. Is there a link in the comments here anywhere that people can go check it out again, guys?
There will be.
Yeah. What a
We'll leave the listening links in the comments. Yeah. Just really grateful. Thank you for listening, for supporting, for kind of checking in with us and seeing what we're up to tonight. I appreciate Bill. Thanks for leading this conversation through as well. Love you. Grateful for you.
Pleasure.
Did we talk about liminal room quite enough? I don't think everyone. Yeah, does everyone know what that is?
Yeah, why don't you highlight that for us there, Phil?
Okay, so we just 3 months ago moved to Nashville. My family did. My wife has a furniture flipping YouTube channel, and she homeschools, and I do this. And I actually did a poll on Facebook, and there are a bunch of names suggested. And I actually said, these are the names. And then people voted. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to go with any of your votes. And I completely went a completely different direction. And it was just, I hate to say it just came to me. I was in prayer, and it just like, I don't know, just this thought of a space, liminal space is a space between heaven and earth. It's where heaven and earth meet, right? It's kind of like this thin space. And I love the thought of this little attic area being that space where I can meet with God and I can do creative Holy Spirit stuff as well. But basically, it's just my little space. I'm working about a handful of commissions now, and I hope to just keep on doing that kind of stuff and helping people out on their projects, doing remote recording for piano and all that kind of stuff. That's basically pretty much what it is.
Yeah, it's good.
So if any of you are watching and you need somebody to either help you record or play instruments for you, Izzy and Phil are your guys.
We'll duke it
Call
out,
them up.
Izzy. We'll
Or hire them both, because
Yeah.
we both collaborated on recent projects, right?
Yeah,
I
it's
want to
true.
highlight my friend Shalini, who just put out a song called Better, which is absolutely stunning. And you both did work on that, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So hire them both.
absolutely.
Yeah, and if you haven't checked that song out, Shalini, it's called Consider.
Mhm. Awesome.
Cool. Anything else, guys?
Stay tuned for more stuff from us. I think we'll start working on another something pretty soon here. We've been talking about maybe doing some Christmas stuff for next year, so we'll see what happens.
There are whispers of Christmas album 2022. So
Yeah, you really have to start thinking about those in
Yeah.
January.
Yeah.
and
yeah, you're
Izzy's
there.
a taskmaster. Let me just say that. Like, he's really good at like, hey, here's the plan. So
You need that. You need.
yeah, you do.
absolutely
You do.
need that.
Oh, we do. He created an Asana account for us, and we all had little check marks we had to check off
Good job,
when we're
man.
finished with one task to the next. So.
And it was a big deal. Like, right? It was a big deal to check that thing off. So
Yeah, you just got to watch out for Erin because she'll go in and uncheck your completed tasks.
Yeah, that's
I didn't know
right.
how to use it. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure we didn't do that. No,
That's funny.
that's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Well,
Great,
thanks,
guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, guys.
And
That's
again,
awesome.
we'll make sure to drop the links there. But you can reach any of us on our social media if you are interested in collaborating, any input, any just conversation you want to have with us. We're welcome and open to that. But thanks for being here. Don't reach out to Chris Weichel on social media.
Well, I'm checking.
I saw a little
If you want
smile down
Chris-
there. I'm like, he's not a social media guy. So
If you want Chris, you got to call Chris. Chris is
Yeah.
a phone call kind
on a
of guy.
rotary phone.
Yeah, you can mail me a letter.
Oh, it's good. All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys, so much.
Yeah,
We'll talk with you all
Thank you
soon.
all.
Bless you all. Thanks for watching with us tonight.
yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye.
Bye.